What's going on, everybody? Cleepus Tech here, coming back at you with another video. In this video, I'm going to be giving you some tips and tricks for the Cricut Debut Smart to help you make the most of the camera features. Now, when it comes to the camera, there really aren't a whole lot of features or anything, but if you're new to smartphones, there definitely is some stuff you're going to want to know about. Now, before we go any further, as always, I do want to remind you to hit that subscribe button, and if you want to learn more about this phone, I will be linking to several other videos about it in the description, as well as some information about pricing, availability, and some of my favorite smartphone accessories. But with that being said, let's get into it. So the first thing I want to show you is a quick way to get to your camera. Now, opening the camera app on the home screen is easy enough, but if you're doing something else on your phone, like maybe you're browsing the web for example, and you want to capture something more quickly in the moment, no matter what you're doing on your phone, to open your camera, all you have to do is double press on the power key like this, and it's going to open right up. So as you can see, there we go. Now we're on Chrome, so let's try that one more time. And there we go. And one final time when the display is locked. And there we go. So as you can see, real quick and easy, definitely a useful, convenient feature to have. And keep in mind, it is enabled by default, so you don't even need to do anything special to use it. The next thing I'm going to show you is how to control your flash. Now, by default, the flash is going to be set to auto, meaning the phone itself is going to decide when to use it based on your environment. So if you're in a really bright area, of course, it's not going to go off. But if you're in a darker setting, then it might actually work. Now, in my experience, when it's set to auto, it pretty much never goes off. So if you really want to use flash, what you're going to do is go up to this icon right here, tap on this, and you can set it to the on position. When it's set to on, whenever you take a picture, the flash is always going to go off. But maybe it's the opposite and you want to make sure the flash never goes off. Tap on the icon one more time, tap on this icon right here, and now the flash is off. So no matter what you do, the flash is never going to work. The next thing I'm going to show you is how to change your video resolution. Now with this phone, you can record videos in up to 1080p in both the rear and front cameras, so not bad for what it is. But if you're recording a lot of videos, or maybe just one longer one, keep in mind, videos can take up a little bit more space, which is something this phone really doesn't have a lot of, unless of course you're using a microSD card. But still, if you do want to save space, you can record videos in 720p instead. To do this, what you're going to do is go to Video. From here, hit this icon right here. This is going to take you to the settings, and as you can see right here, by default we are going to be recording in 1080p, but if you tap on this icon, you can also switch it to 720p. And again, when you're recording in 720p, the quality is going to be a bit lower, but the files are also going to be a lot smaller, and this is going to help you save a lot of space. The next thing I'm going to show you is how to change your photo quality. Now this is actually pretty similar to video quality, but the difference here is that with photos, I feel like photos in general just don't take up a whole lot of space, and if you are going to be taking a ton of photos to the point where it actually makes a difference, you should probably just get a larger microSD card. But that being said, you do have the option with this phone to take photos that have lower quality, but also much smaller file sizes. To do this, from the main photo mode, go up here to settings. And as you can see right here, it says photo quality, tap here. And as you can see by default, it is going to be high, but you can also use standard or low. The next thing I'm going to show you is how to mute the shutter. Now by default, whenever you take a picture, it is going to make a bit of a sound. So I'm going to try it out. You could probably hear that a little bit. Honestly, it's really not that bad. And if you're really just taking a couple photos here and there, it's probably not going to matter that much. But if you are taking a lot of pictures, I can definitely see how it might get annoying. So if you ever do want to mute the shutter, what you're going to do is go up here to settings. And from here, go to camera mute. And now whenever you take a picture, it's no longer going to make a sound. In addition to this, keep in mind if you have your phone silenced or in vibrate, which I usually do, it's not going to make a sound anyway. But of course, if you want to make absolute sure that this phone never makes a sound when you take a picture, then again, you can always mute it here. Now I'm going to show you how to change the aspect ratio of your photos. Now by default, this is going to be your aspect ratio, which is pretty standard for any smartphone nowadays. And in case you don't know, this is 4:3, or if you're in landscape, it's going to be 3:4. But if you want to change it, what you're going to do is go up here to settings. From here, go to picture size. And as you can see, you can choose between 4:3, which again is the default, 1:1, which is of course going to be a square, or 16:9. Another cool thing we can do here is turn on the grid lines, and this is going to make it a lot easier to center something in a photo. So for example, the standard grid is basically just going to look like this, so if you want to line something up, it does make it a lot easier. We do also have several different options like left, right. Now to be perfectly honest, I don't even know what this thing is, but if you ever do want to experiment with it, you always can. Now if you're ever in a situation where you're maybe taking a selfie for example, or really doing anything with your camera where it's uncomfortable to reach the shutter button, you can use a feature called touch shooting. To activate this, simply go to settings, go to touch shooting. And with this feature on, all you have to do to take a picture is simply tap anywhere on the screen and it's automatically going to work. So for example, if you're taking a picture like this, just tap anywhere. And as you can see, it just took a photo. Now I'm going to show you how to use night mode. Now in general, when you're taking a photo in the dark, lots of Android phones kind of adjust for this automatically, but I have noticed in my experience, if your phone does have a night mode, which this one does, when you're taking photos in the dark, if you actually deliberately use night mode, instead of just letting it adjust in normal photo mode, in general, you are going to get better results. So to get to night mode, from the main camera screen, go to More. And from here, as you can see, we have a few different features. There's night mode, pro mode, and time lapse. So tap on night mode. And as you can see, we are now in night mode, and of course, in this type of setting, it's not really even going to do anything. But if you ever do find yourself taking a picture in lower lighting, this is definitely a nice feature to have. And finally, the last thing I'm going to show you is a few different things you can do with the volume keys. So by default, the volume keys are basically going to work like a physical shutter button. So volume up is going to take a picture, and volume down is also going to take a picture. And then of course, in video mode, it's going to record a video instead. Now, I personally like to keep it this way, but there are a couple different options here. So to get to these, go up here to settings. From here, go to volume key feature. And as you can see, you can choose between shutter, volume, and zoom. So we're going to go to zoom. And now if we go back to the camera, volume up is going to zoom in, and volume down is going to zoom out. But this concludes my camera tips and tricks video for the Cricut Debut Smart. Again, when it comes to the camera, there really aren't a whole lot of features on this phone, but if you're new to smartphones, hopefully that gave you a better idea of what you can do with it. Now, once again, if you want to learn more about this phone, I will be linking to several other videos about it in the description, as well as some information about pricing, availability, and some of my favorite smartphone accessories. But that's it for this video. If you enjoyed it and found it useful, be sure to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to follow Kalipus Tech on Twitter and Instagram. And as always, I will see you in the next video.